Okay, here we go, everybody. We're live, and you're on.
Oh.
Wow. Hey, what's up, everybody? Clark Shao here.
Kate
Kate.
Esseltine.
And today we're here to answer some questions you guys may have about Six-Pack Shortcuts 2. So first, I want to thank everybody for the guys that have done Six-Pack Shortcuts Part 1, and to everybody joining us for Six-Pack Shortcuts 2, and for everybody that had Six-Pack Shortcuts 1 that now have Six-Pack Shortcuts 2. So any questions that you may have?
We're going to answer
Let
it.
us know.
So as a recap, on Monday we had Johnny out here. We were doing tons of giveaways. Then we had Mark come through on Wednesday. We did a webinar with him. And now we've got Clark Shao here. Clark Shao here to answer any of your questions. So on that live comment box, just type in any questions that you guys have. Supplements, Six-Pack Shortcuts 2, Six-Pack Shortcuts 1, anything that you guys have been wanting to know. Anything about Clark's personal life, my personal life, biceps, quads, we're both wearing short shorts, anything you guys want to know, just bring it, right?
Bring it on.
Cool. So today, we're not only going to be answering questions, we're also going to be doing a short workout together too. So we're going to move out the chairs, we're going to bust it out, and we don't want to just do it, we want to bring you guys out here to do it with us, right?
We're going to do it live.
Cool.
So it's not something that it's pre-recorded that you guys are going to watch and then do it. We're going to do it together. So
Awesome. So one of the first questions that we had was, what supplements do they need to take in order to get ripped? And do they need to take supplements at all?
you don't have to take any supplements, but they definitely will help boost and increase the effectiveness of everything else that you're doing. So what we're trying to do here is basically get you the results you want naturally by boosting your natural hormone levels. But of course, supplements will help you. So to answer that, you don't need to take a supplement, but it will definitely speed up your results.
Cool. All right. So in this the Six-Pack Shortcuts Part 2 program, there's 3 phases. I know SPS 1 was 4 phases. It was a little bit longer. With the 3 phases, really, what is the objective? Like the step 1, step 2, step 3?
Basically, we've broken it down. Step 1, as you're familiar with, is the afterburn effect, which is basically burning calories even after you're done working out. And we create that afterburn effect to kind of get you jump-started in burning all those calories and getting rid of fat to begin with. Second step is to control your leptin. Mm-hmm. And leptin is basically your body's master fat-burning hormone. What that does is it controls your appetite. It controls how much you eat. So with your leptin under control, it's going to help you to keep that weight off. And then the third step is going to be testosterone, because you don't just want to get leaner and thinner and not be muscular. Testosterone is the key to building muscle. And we all know with higher testosterone, you're going to look more muscular. You're going to be able to put on a lot more mass and muscle mass and a lot more strength and keep it that way.
Yeah, yeah. So what supplements are you currently taking?
Me personally, right now, I'm just in a maintenance phase. So
What's that mean?
Well, basically, once you've reached your goals and you don't strive to be any bigger or anything like that. So I'm not taking, like test reload or sometimes I take leptin shred, but I have my portion sizes pretty much down to a T. It's like a science, Yeah. So I have everything under control. So all I really need is a good multivitamin, and actually we're formulating a new one that it's actually a multivitamin made, with prostate support and all that other stuff for men. But I take a good multivitamin because it's like having a good insurance, especially when you're constantly on a very clean, restrictive diet to maintain your physique. Having a good multivitamin just ensures that you're not deficient in any vitamins or minerals.
Yeah.
I take that, and of course, my whey protein. I take isolates and hydrolysates because they actually help get in your system a little bit faster.
And aminos.
Every
day, right there.
Aminos, and I still take the afterburn fuel, pre-workout to kind of boost my energy levels, and just even if I just need energy if I'm not working out. Yeah. I'm driving home back to Houston after this, so drinking my afterburn aminos. I actually mixed the afterburn aminos with the afterburn aminos with the afterburn fuel. Yeah. So I'm getting my
double flavor.
energy. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
pretty intense.
Yeah, actually, I forgot to give a little introduction to who I am. I actually helped formulate some of our supplements, and I also helped organize our new workout program as well. So like all these guys and I, like we get together, we talk about the different exercises, we go over the facts on like how these different styles of training can really actually support and rejuvenate your hormones. Like it's honestly no joke. There's a lot of validity to it. I also went to school for kinesiology, so exercise science as well. So it is really fun to come here and help, and we do get a lot of supplement questions, and because I'm a girl, not a lot of supplement questions come my way, but I promise you guys ask them, I can definitely help answer them. And one question I hear a lot of, and I'm definitely gonna get Clark's take, is what is the difference between a natural test booster and an actual steroid? And I get a lot of guys that ask that question, and do you wanna go ahead and give your intake on that?
It's not just one is illegal and one is legal.
Right, exactly.
But the truth behind it is, an actual steroid is something that you're basically injecting a synthetic into your body, or you're injecting the hormone itself, which causes your body's natural hormone production to be competing with that and trying to balance itself out, and it gets all out of whack. A test booster is basically something that stimulates your body's natural hormone production.
Yeah.
So you're not injecting this outside thing into your body. You're actually just taking something that is going to basically encourage your body to
Right.
produce more of its own natural hormones.
Yeah, and I think that's where most guys get it wrong, and they get a little nervous when we're even discussing something related to the hormone. They hear the word testosterone, they're automatically like, oh my gosh, it's a hormone, this is illegal, like how can I even take this? And it has nothing to do with taking testosterone. What you're doing is you're taking ingredients that encourage, just like he said, that's a good word to use, encouraging your body to naturally produce more of it. So we're not putting anything synthetic in. These botanicals and herbs and things that are found within Test Reload help your body naturally increase test. And one really good ingredient in there is vitamin D. I mean, you can go outside and get vitamin D. I mean, this is not a rocket science crazy ingredient. Vitamin D is necessary for the synthesis of testosterone. So the creation of testosterone molecules, you need vitamin D. So that's just one of the ingredients, but D-aspartic acid is another one. It's got tons of great research. One study, PubMed.gov, you guys can look this up. It's 42% increase in testosterone in 14 days. Like, that's completely legit. You can look it up yourself. So there's a lot of exciting stuff that goes into supplements. It's not just all nerd stuff, and it's definitely not just smoke and mirrors. So I am glad to be here just to like set the record straight. So if you guys have questions about that, feel absolutely free. Aside from Test Reload, I know you mentioned we've got the new men's multi coming out. I wanted to touch on that because I'm super stoked about it. It's not just a men's multi, it's a men's multi, heart, liver, prostate protection. I mean, this is a 4-in-1 type supplement. We've never done anything like it, so I'm really excited. I know the Abs After 40 guys are gonna absolutely love it too, especially because we're caring a little bit more about those types of things. I know guys who are in their 20s, they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I don't need my liver and I don't, whatever, you know what I mean? But you know, as you get older, you're gonna need to start worrying about that.
And we're definitely here to make things easier and simpler for everybody.
Yeah.
That's why we're Six Pack Shortcuts. Me personally, I hated whenever I had to take my multivitamins and it was not like a multivitamin that was already prepared. I would literally grab one bottle. Okay, there's my vitamin D. There's my fish oil. There's my vitamin C. There's my B complex.
Yeah.
There's my E. And then you're like,
That's what it looks
you
like.
know, yeah, it's so much work, but you know, having just everything combined in one, so much easier. I've even done that with my proteins.
I've done
Sometimes
that.
I'm like, fast digesting, slow digesting.
I do it with my food, my breakfast. I call it meathead porridge. It's like oats. Okay, I'm just gonna put the egg whites in there. I'm gonna stir the peanut butter right in there
Yes.
too. I'm just gonna eat it. I don't even care. I'll eat my food cold now. I'm like, man, whatever. If it's an all-in-one, I'm all about
Just make
those.
things easier.
Yeah. Another big question, and I know this one, it's different for everybody, but I definitely want your take on it too. How many days a week should people work out, especially if it's six-pack too?
To be effective, I would say 4, you know, to try to keep it 4 to a minimum. But if you want, obviously, you're going to get what you put into it. So if you want faster results, better results, and 5 days is going to create better results, faster results. Now, the 5th day is optional. It's totally optional. You don't have to do it, but, you know, if you want that bonus, if you want to go the extra mile, which you should,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
do it.
Yeah. With the Six Pack Shortcuts 2 program, the day 5, we actually added an extra day. So if you guys had Six Pack 1 or you heard about it, it required 4 days. We've got 4 days again for SPS 2, but we also added something called the Advanced Training Day. And so what that is an actual gym session. So for the guys who do have a gym membership, or maybe you're just a beginner and maybe after a couple months of doing just 4 days a week, you want to get a gym membership because you're seeing great results, we definitely encourage you to do so.
Take it to the next level.
Yeah, for sure. And so the day 5 is all about tempo training. So it's done with Johnny in the gym, actually in our own gym. So it's pretty cool, but it's a great way to build muscle. That's what that workout's all about. But we call it more of the advanced day because it does require some more advanced training techniques.
And also, building muscle is going to help you to maintain that lean physique, because the more muscle mass you carry, the more calories you burn while you're resting, the higher metabolism is. So let's just say, you go through the Six Pack Shortcuts 2 program and you finally get a six pack and you want to maintain it, right? A lot of guys ask, well, how do you maintain it so easily? And you can even have cheat meals and still stay lean.
Yep.
Why? Because when you have more muscle mass, your body's burning twice the amount of calories sitting there doing nothing and sleeping. Yeah. Than somebody who doesn't have as much muscle mass. So you could afford to have those extra calories.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, it may actually help maintain your testosterone levels too.
Yeah, that's true. And I totally forgot to mention, we didn't even say this yet, but for every 100 likes we get on this video, we're actually giving out a supplement of your choice to a lucky viewer. And I've got Emily back here from Monday and Wednesday, and she's gonna be choosing the names out. And also, for anyone who signs up with SPS2 during this live feed by clicking the link, we're giving you a free bottle of Leptin Shred. Totally forgot to mention that.
That's
yeah, so that's
sweet
exclusive.
deal.
That's for you guys today. I know on Wednesday we did it with Test Reload, but today it is Flex Friday. We want to get you guys shredded.
Why
It's
are we
Leptin
giving
Shred.
free stuff away?
We are
Why don't
giving
we
it away
give
because
free shit
we just want to get people ripped out of their minds.
Well, also it has to do with motivation too. You're probably watching this right now because you're motivated, and you might be kind of on the edge about whether or not you want to join SPS2, but you have some questions. So we're here to answer those questions live as we get them, so that way you don't have any.
Speaking of which, let me grab. Let's see what we got going. Question-wise.
First question.
Let's see.
Kate, take off your shirt.
Not gonna happen. Maybe I'll pop the top during the workout.
Just kidding.
Yes, actually, I'm looking at the questions. First one, show your six packs. We will show the six packs. Hey Clark, how can I prepare myself for the Six Pack Shortcut 2 program before starting the program so I can get ready for it?
Okay, that is actually a question I get all the time, especially from clients that I train with in person. It's crazy. A lot of people tell me, hey man, I want to get in shape, but before I get in shape with you, before I start training with you, let me get in better shape before I start training with you. And I'm like scratching my head. So you want to get in shape before you get in shape. Just
that doesn't
do
make
it.
sense.
Just do it. It doesn't make sense. I mean, maybe because like some people are intimidated into jumping into something
That makes
that
sense.
you
If
know,
they're like a super beginner.
they feel like this is too advanced for us. It's not. Like we have this program set up for somebody who's never exercised a day in their life.
Yeah, let's talk about the intensity gauge.
Okay.
Times, yeah.
So how it's different from Six Pack Shortcuts 1 is Six Pack Shortcuts 2 has 3 different intensity levels. We have one for beginners, one for intermediate, and one for advanced people who have been working out for years. And the difference is the varying rest time. So obviously if you're a beginner, you're gonna be taking longer rest breaks, you're gonna be going at a slower pace so that you can keep up and finish the workouts. And then of course, once you're past that stage, then you're gonna bump up the intensity a notch and then go a little bit less rest and then higher intensity and so forth. So you can actually go through this program more than just once. You can go through it as a beginner, as an intermediate, and as an advanced.
Yeah, and I think that is such an incredible feature to have on an exercise program, because the thing with Six Pack Shortcuts 1 is it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this program, but what happens next? And it's all one level, and the expectation, in my opinion, and I've been working out since I was 15, I'm 25 now, I think the workouts are really intense in Six Pack Shortcuts 1. And they're still intense in the second program too, but what we've done is we've given you the ability to take your time. We've given you the ability to make the workouts fit where you're at in your life currently. And I think that makes a huge difference, because I've talked to a lot of customers who have used Six Pack Shortcuts 1 and people that have had issues with it and been like, man, this is just, I really want to do the workouts. It's just too taxing on my knees and I can't seem to catch my breath. And it's like having this option of being able to complete SPS2 at a level 1, a level 2, level 3. Heck, complete all 3 months as a level 1, go back through, do it as a level 2, then do it as a level 3. That's like...
And it's not just, the levels, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
if somebody has a pre-existing injury or limitations,
Yeah.
let's say you had bad back or you have a bad knee or bad shoulders or something like that, a lot of the exercise demonstrations that we have in Six Pack Shortcuts 2, we actually have Henry Tran demonstrating the exercises while Johnny and we give examples of alternatives. So we give several different alternatives. Let's say he's doing a lunge and you're like, I can't do a lunge, my knees are messed up. Well, then we give examples of, how you can do it differently that might not affect or hurt your knee a certain way, or how to increase or decrease the intensity level. So that's definitely something that we've incorporated into Six Pack Shortcuts 2, is giving a lot of pointers, more detailed advice and alternatives.
That is true, yeah. So especially giving the detailed advice, I like that. Mentioning that because Six Pack Shortcuts 1, you get to see Mike and Dan, they're actually working out and going through the movements. SPS 2, it's Henry Tran demonstrating, and then you get 20, 30 minutes of pure training advice. It's like you're with Johnny and Clark training, and I was there. I actually helped produce the workouts myself. I was here for the filming, and that's literally what it is. It's like you're getting a one-on-one coaching consultation with these two guys. And if you go to any gym and you're trying to buy training packages, I mean, Clark's a personal trainer. He'll tell you what his normal rates are for individual people. What you get out of Six Pack Shortcuts 1 is like over $1,000 worth of value because there's 15 workout videos. Think about what 15 training sessions, what that would be. It's astronomical compared to $97. And so a lot of people would be like, well, $100 is a lot. But I mean, like, this is a lifetime program as well. Like, you get these workouts forever. They don't go away. So next question is, how do you get rid of lower belly fat?
Okay, that is that's called spot reduction. That's the belief that you can actually target a certain area where you burn fat. But let's take this for example. Okay, if you sat down and you ate tons of candy, cookies, ice cream, all the junk food you can think of,
good stuff,
and you gain 5 pounds of fat, can you control where your body stores those 5 pounds? No, your body's just gonna store it wherever it wants to. So when you start exercising and you start burning fat calories, your body's going to take those calories wherever it wants to. Just because you're doing ab exercises does not mean that you're burning the fat that's over your abs. You're just working the muscle underneath the fat. So to answer your question is, the best way to lose the belly fat and your lower abs is to do the exercises that are gonna burn the most amount of calories from fat and maintain your diet that's going to burn, continue to help your body burn the most amount of fat. And you might be lucky, it might be the first place to go, or you might lean out everywhere else, start seeing your arms lean out, your legs leaning out, maybe even your face, you get that chiseled jawline and everything. And then that might be the last to go, but you just have to keep at it until it goes away.
And unfortunately, as a female, just genetically speaking, females have more estrogen than guys do. And so unfortunately for me, the last place if I go to try to get as lean as possible is right here, and then also as well as in the legs too. And so mostly for guys, especially if they have high testosterone, guys with high T actually don't have a lot of belly fat. So that is a huge benefit of having high T. Typically you don't have a lot of body fat or belly fat either way, especially if the estrogen levels are low. So that's key. And a lot of guys want to know, like, oh, there's gotta be this secret way to get my lower abs to be super tight. And it's what Clark said, it's choosing exercises that burn the maximum amount of calories at a given time is the fastest. That is you wanna know the shortcut? The six-pack shortcut? Afterburn training. It's doing exercises that create a metabolic response, resistance training and cardio, combining it is the fastest way to burn calories. And that's really what we do, and that's what we've done with Six-Pack Shortcuts too.
Let's take this for example. What's gonna take more energy? Doing a squat or doing a crunch?
It's true. That's a really good...
A squat's gonna burn more calories than doing a crunch. So you can sit there and do 100 crunches and maybe burn the same amount of calories as doing 10 squats, So what would you rather do? The goal is to work effectively and efficiently.
Yeah.
It's not how much time you spend in the gym, it's the results you get out of it. I'd rather get more results in less time
Yeah.
than spend more time and get less results.
And that's it. What stinks is most guys have the opposite idea. They're like, oh, I'm
Man, I spent
I'm
4 hours in the gym.
Yeah, it's sick, man. Took so many selfies. IG, my gram is blowing up. I'm in the gym. It's so fucking sweet. And Snapchats and all this. And it's like, man, time and energy are scarce resources. And if you're in the gym and you can use Snapchat filters for 15 minutes and you're chatting on the phone when you're on a stair mill, you know what I mean? Like, what are you really doing though?
One of the most common questions I get asked from my clients that start training with me, they're like, hey, so how long are the workouts? I'm like, 30 minutes. They're like, that's it?
How can you get in shape?
Yeah,
in
how
30
do you get in shape in 30 minutes? Like, don't you need an hour? I'm like,
Who told you
No,
that? Like, where did that even come from?
exactly.
A lot of people, I mean, he's right though. A lot of people assume it's like this presumption about getting fit is it requires so much time. And what's weird is it's not the time, it's the intensity. It requires you to be focused, but you don't need to be focused and extreme and into that moment for 60 minutes. That would be really counterproductive if you were. It should be 20 to 25, 30, 35 minutes. I can't even tell you the last time I was in the gym and it took longer than 40 minutes. Like,
It's all about effort. Think
Yeah.
about it. It's Friday, right?
Yeah.
A lot of you guys maybe work a corporate job, 9 to 5 or whatnot, and you might get off work a little bit early on Fridays. But why is it that you can complete the same amount of work you do Monday through Thursday, working until 5 or 6 p.m., but you can complete the same amount of work and leave the office earlier on Friday?
that's a good one. No, it's very true.
Do you need 8 or 9 hours to complete the work you need to do in a day? No. You just, you have to be there, so you kind of just drag it out throughout the day. But if your boss said, hey, man, you can leave at lunchtime as long as everything is done. Guess what?
You would
Everything is
hustle-
done by lunchtime.
Hustle your ass off.
So it's the same concept. You can apply anywhere in life. When you're working out too, it's not how long you spend in the gym. It's what you actually accomplish in the
Yeah.
gym.
The next question, and this is a good question, are energy drinks good for working out?
Yes and no. It just depends. If you need them, yes, because they're going to boost your energy levels. They're going to give you more intense drive. No, if you overdo it, if you're taking it all the time and you rely on it, then it creates something mental to where you feel like,
Like a fixation on it.
yeah. And then you also burn out your receptors. And then it's going to take more and more to get the same effect.
Right.
So, if you're taking some type of pre-workout or something like that, you might want to cycle on and off for a little bit. Or not even cycle, you can switch what you're taking.
Right.
So,
And a good example of what he's saying, and I know a lot of people have probably felt this is the best example I use. How do you feel when you drink 1 cup of coffee? Probably the first few times you drank coffee, it gave you a good buzz. But after months and years of drinking coffee, you probably don't really get like that real hype, real like energetic feeling. And so what do? I add a shot of espresso or I have 2 more cups of coffee so I can get that buzz. And it's the same thing with energy drinks. One stops working for you maybe after a couple weeks of using it before your workout and you're like, well, man, I guess I gotta drink 2, and then where does it stop? You know what I mean? So his idea of cycling off, it's really good to either take a break from pre-workouts or switch to something else. Like you could switch to like green tea, and you'd still get that natural boost of caffeine, but you wouldn't be getting like 400 to 500 mgs because using more, and like using a scoop of afterburn fuel, that is an example. Well, 1 scoop's not really doing it for me. Guess I'll do 2. Oh, guess I'll do 3. And then pretty soon you got to use 4 scoops to even like get a pump. You got a problem at that point.
actually, I've had pre-workout supplements that come with a double-sided scoop.
Oh my
So
God,
one
no.
has a smaller serving, the other side has a larger serving.
Oh my gosh, so it's like the beginner, intermediate, advanced
Yeah,
servings? Okay. Are splits better than working every body part out in one day?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
If you
Well, it depends on your goal, really. Like, are you trying to sculpt individual muscles, or do you want overall fat loss? Because total body workouts, I mean, they are awesome, but you can't really concentrate or isolate or really focus on development of one if you're doing everything.
Exactly. You're trying to do too much at once and not really getting the benefit of any one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to put your effort and do something and do it well.
Yeah.
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 So definitely that's better, but let's just say, for example, you haven't worked out on the week, you're on the road, and you can't work out for another week, and you don't have equipment or anything like that, and you only have one chance to get a workout in, then me personally, I would try and go and hit everything. But if I had a regular routine, I would definitely keep it to a split routine because you're going to get far better results that way.
Does sleeping longer burn belly fat?
Yes, it does. REM sleep, that's rapid eye movement, quality sleep. So try to aim for at least 7 hours of sleep at night, if not 8 or 9. And that is when your body's going to do the most recovery. That's when your hormone levels are going to actually be at its optimal level, and you're going to be able to build more muscle. Now, when I say 7 to 8 hours of quality rest, that doesn't mean take a 4-hour nap here and a 3-hour nap here.
Right.
Because you want to be in that deep cycle sleep. That is when you actually get the most benefit from resting.
Right. So like what he's trying to say is, if you're doing like these power naps, and there's nothing wrong with taking rest and taking naps and things like that, but if you don't get the quality sleep, you won't get the recovery. That's when your body can actually use the time it needs to take to recover your muscles, to let your mind relax, and to get what you really need out of the sleep. You really, really need like 7 to 8 hours of straight sleep, not just power naps off and on. And I do want to say one more thing about the energy drinks. If you are going to use energy drinks, look at the ingredients on the back, because I got to tell you, some energy drinks have like double the sugar of like a Coke or a Mountain Dew. It's like out of control now. And there are a lot of really, really tasty sugar-free ones. Have you had the Monster? They have the blue one and the yellow.
The Zero.
The Zero, yeah. The Zero ones.
Yeah.
Those are amazing.
I don't see a purpose in taking an energy drink that has sugar, because it's actually defeating the purpose of what you're trying to do. You're trying to work out, to burn fat, to get leaner, but before you work out, you're taking this energy drink to get more energy to burn more calories, but you're putting more calories before you do the workout. Right. So it doesn't really make sense. The only time that would make sense is if you're doing some type of endurance competitive event. Then that extra sugar is going to provide you with energy. But for the purposes of being aesthetic and getting lean and getting ripped, you don't want to add that extra sugar in before your workout. That's just defeating the purpose of it.
Yeah. Next question is, what foods build muscle?
Protein. I mean, you want to have good quality protein. So that's fish, eggs, chicken, turkey. All that stuff is perfect for building muscle.
Definitely, yeah. Lean proteins. We don't want to skip on the fats, and I think that it's a problem because a lot of mainstream media, and especially like in the 90s, it came out like low-fat diets. It's the worst thing. Like, you got to go low-fat, like no fat, get the fat out of there. And the problem is that fat, especially for guys, dietary fats, that's how we create testosterone. Testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol. So I know there's like all this bad hype. Cholesterol is so terrible, it's so bad. There's LDL, yeah, there's I call it lousy LDL, and then happy, which is the HDL, that's the good cholesterol. So you actually do want some good cholesterol, and we get that from fats. So a little bit of red meat, you can have whole eggs. It's okay.
That's funny, you said lousy and what was the other one? Happy?
LDL, that's how I remembered it in A&P. It was.
I thought of it like this: low, no good.
Yeah.
High,
good. Yeah, I get happy and low. That's what they taught us in anatomy, but. Anyway, yeah, you definitely want to be able to eat these types of things, and don't feel bad about it. It's not going to hurt you. Having one whole egg is not going to be my heart. I'm going to have heart disease. Honestly,
there are so many good, nutritious things that are in the yolk that you're missing out on.
Yeah,
you gotta
if you skip
have
it.
The yolk
yeah,
too.
And there's times when you can pull the yolk. I mean, having the yolk out of it, obviously you're gonna get leaner faster if you're just choosing to eat egg whites. But if we're talking about supporting our hormones, you wanna have an egg yolk. It is totally okay. It's okay to have a little bit of red meat. It's definitely okay to have almonds, raw nuts, natural peanut butters, avocados, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil. All these types of fats are so good for your hormones. And it's not even just testosterone, hair, skin, nails, dietary fats. And honestly, fat is one of the most anabolic macronutrients because of that. And then carbohydrates too.
Fish oil.
Yes.
Getting your fats from eating a lot of salmon, that's great for your health.
I actually eat salmon like every day. I shouldn't. I eat like 12 ounces at a time too, but YOLO.
I like it raw.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hey. No, like sashimi, it's great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. But and then as far as muscle building, carbohydrates. Don't be afraid of carbs. That's another thing. Early 2000s, when Atkins came out and was like, oh my God, just eat protein and fat. You don't need any carbs and you're gonna lose weight. And the truth is, yes, you will lose a lot of weight. It's harder for our bodies to utilize protein nutrients as energy than it is as carbs. Carbs are very easy energy sources for us, and protein's a little harder. So it actually burns calories to try to process the protein for energy. But the problem is, what happens when you start eating carbs again?
Your body's gonna store it.
Yeah, you blow up.
So the key here is to not have no carb, but
Yeah.
it's also not to have too much carb. So it's very easy to get too many calories from, eating a bowl of rice or a whole potato or something like that. So you just want to keep those starches to a minimum. And a lot of people don't know this, but vegetables are carbs. You can get a lot of your source of carbohydrates from vegetables. They actually contain carbs as well as fiber, and that actually slows the digestion of these carbs, and so it actually doesn't have any effect on your insulin. And insulin is basically what makes your body store. So when you have insulin spikes, your body wants to store, and you're not actually burning fat. So having some foods that are carby, that have more fiber, are going to be better for you.
Yeah, definitely. I heard that working out is not good for losing weight, just running. Is that true? I'm not really sure, but
no.
Just running, I don't think.
No.
No.
You can just run and lose weight, but I can guarantee you, if you took two people that are the same exact body type, genetics, and everything, and one of them only ran for an hour and the other one lifted weights for an hour, the one that lifted weights for an hour is going to get better aesthetic results than the one that only runs.
Yeah, yeah. What protein powder do you use?
I really don't have a particular brand. I try a lot of them. Every time
Me
I go,
too. I'm a guinea pig.
Every time I go to a supplement store,
this looks good.
I get samples and I'm like, okay, let me try this one. And if it's good, I might order it. If not,
Yeah.
The only thing that I pay attention to is the ingredients.
Yes.
I look at the ingredients. I make sure it doesn't have a ton of sugar,
Right.
fat, sodium, or
They're
anything
getting
else.
sneaky. I can't believe it. I've seen some proteins that come out because obviously you want to buy a protein that tastes good, right? Well, if it tastes good, there's probably a lot of sugar in it.
Exactly.
But that's a key point. There added sugars, added fats. You're going in there to buy a health supplement, and then somehow it's like if you didn't look at the label, you could have totally pretty much been better off with
Yeah.
Nesquik.
So the ingredient that I'm looking for in a whey protein is whey protein hydrolysate or whey protein isolate. Concentrates are okay also, but I'm a little lactose intolerant, so if it's not, filtered or refined up to a isolate or hydrolysate,
You can't eat ice cream?
I get gas.
Ah,
I mean, I
it's
could.
worth it, though.
I could, but you don't
It's
want to be
worth
around
it.
me.
Who gives a shit? No, I know the feels for sure.
Yeah, so, I try to stick to a higher quality protein like an isolate
Mm-hmm.
or hydrolysate.
And I don't want to use the word unfortunately because you get what you pay for, but the isolates are going to be a little bit more expensive, and I know it sucks, but the truth is the higher the quality, it is probably going to cost a little bit more. But a trick that I use, and it's not as satisfying obviously as drinking like a chocolate protein shake, but if you're in it for cost effectiveness and you're looking for muscle protein synthesis, which is really what you should be looking for if you're trying to buy a protein, just get aminos, because if you're looking to build muscle, you're looking for the recovery, you wanna replenish your muscles, the aminos are actually direct absorption because there's no added carbs, there's no added sugars, there's no extra ingredients, there's no fillers. Like proteins have even fillers like xanthal gums and things like that give protein powders their smooth texture. It makes it that thick, creamy, almost like chocolate milk sometimes, depending on which one you're buying. Whereas an amino is kind of like drinking a pre-workout. It's just like a fruit flavor splash. It's down.
And it's refreshing because most proteins are, if
Some of
you're
them-
thirsty, it's so
Now it makes you thirstier.
Yeah, you just want something that's refreshing.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started taking protein powders when I was in high school.
Oh, they were
Man,
gnarly.
they came a long way.
Protein technology, if that's a thing, if that's a department, has come a long way.
You used to literally, you would shake it and you would have to chew up the clumps just to get it down. It was crazy.
Yeah. What do you think about soy protein?
Soy protein, that's a great alternative if you're vegan or vegetarian. You just won't have anything that comes from an animal because most whey protein is derived from milk,
Right.
which comes from a cow.
Right.
So that is an alternative. But if you don't need to stay away from whey, I would definitely suggest whey over soy. And especially for men, too much soy can elevate estrogen levels, which you don't want.
Yep. there's estrogen-like properties to the chemicals that make up soy products. So it definitely can make an impact. So like I've talked to some guys who have used soy products or a lot of vegetarian guys who their main sources of protein are gonna be coming from tofu, things that are made from soy, and soy protein alternatives as well. And this sounds weird, but it's totally true. I've had guys talk to me about like puffy nipples, feeling uncomfortable, like moodiness, hot flashes. Those are all symptoms of having high estrogen as a man. I know it sounds weird, but it's totally true, and it can happen if you're not paying attention to it. And I will say, if you are a vegetarian and you're looking for an alternative to whey, try hemp protein, like hemp, pea protein. I found a rice protein at Vitamin Shop the other day. Like there's a lot of alternatives, like vegetarian-based proteins that are, I would tell you, especially if you're a dude who wants to put on muscle, just try to avoid the soy as much as possible.
And actually, some of them actually taste pretty good. I've actually been.
I got an egg protein
Yeah.
at HEB the other day, and it's like Ron White or something, and it's some nerdy dude who's like going like this on the bag. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like the cheesiest thing ever. It's amazing. It's really, really good. And I mix it in like my non-fat Greek yogurt, because non-fat Greek yogurt tastes like sour cream, but it makes it taste really, really good. So what are some healthy snacks if you're trying to get lean and lose weight?
Avocado. I love avocados.
I do too.
Yeah. I just like cut open an avocado. I eat half as a healthy snack. I save the other half. Handful of almonds are great.
Rice cakes, sugar-free jelly. Game changer. Total game changer.
Protein chips.
Oh, protein. The Quest from
Yeah.
Quest.
Oh, I
Yeah,
like
those are the bomb. Those are actually like at any grocery store now. I saw them at Kroger. I think I saw them at Walmart even. I don't know how many people are Walmart people.
Now,
here.
of course, you're gonna ask, but do they taste like regular chips? Okay, to be honest,
Yeah.
they have the same crunch in the flavor as regular chips, but then after you chew it, it does taste
It's a little
different
aftertasty.
afterwards, a little bit drier. But then again, you got to think about what you're getting. You're getting pure protein, not fried potatoes.
It's true.
You
it's
know,
true.
so it's
and if you
better for
want the potato, I know this is a little bit of extra work, and I'm pretty sure this recipe is actually in the nutrition, the six-pack nutrition system that comes with six-pack shortcuts too. Johnny shows you how to make chips out of sweet potatoes. He uses a mandolin and cuts a potato real thin, and then you bake it with some sea salt. You could throw like some cinnamon on there. It is so good. That's an alternative. Makes you feel like you're eating.
I've seen kale chips. I haven't tried them yet.
Yeah,
but-
I've had some recipes that are. I feel a little hippie when I eat it.
Now,
Like I stopped shaving my armpits.
Here's another thing that
stop
I
wearing
do.
deodorant.
I actually like eating flavored seaweed flakes, but I'm Chinese, so unless you shop at an Asian grocery store, you probably will never see those.
No.
They got wasabi flavor. They got like,
what do
sea
you
salt flavor.
What do you replace bread with, or do you try to replace bread at all? Why do people like bread so much? What is it?
I don't eat.
I'm American and I don't love that. I don't love bread that much.
I mean, I like my burgers, but I'll get it on a lettuce wrap.
Yeah,
And-
that's a good tip, because you can even do that like Jimmy John's. If you're a bread person and you like sandwiches and you love Subway or Jimmy John's, those types of places, you can actually get your sandwiches wrapped in lettuce too, which
Yeah.
is like a really easy way to replace bread if you're like a bread person.
You know what I use bread for? A handle. Because sometimes when you do it on a lettuce wrap, it gets kind of messy. So I'll just leave the bread
like
there.
it's a holster?
So I'll hold
a
the
koozie. It's a
well, yeah,
sandwich
I'll use
koozie.
the bread to hold like my burger or sandwich, and as I'm biting into it, I'm tearing the bread off
Yeah.
as I'm biting and eating into it. So it's kind of like just what I hold it with.
Yeah.
So I'm not holding the meat with my hands.
Yeah. It's weird. I know both of us have been familiar with dieting and familiar with exercise and training and sculpting our bods for years now. I kind of just lost the interest for bread. I think it's more so because there's no nutritional value to bread. And it's really like eating bread for me now, when I try to eat it, I'm just kind of like, ugh. Even when you're at like a Texas Roadhouse and they have the biscuits come out, like that's really hard for me to avoid. But other than that, I look at bread like it's pointless.
It's a filler.
It's a filler.
It's a filler.
It's almost, it doesn't really do me any good. Plus, it really does fill me up, and then I can't enjoy the other bullshit I want to eat. So, like, if I had to choose between, like, sugar and, like, eating a sandwich that had bread, or, like, a hot dog or a hamburger with bread, I would choose the sweets. I just don't even care about bread.
I save my cheat carbs for something that's worth it for me.
That's exactly how it
bread
is,
just
yeah.
doesn't have, it's flavorless. Like if I'm gonna be taking in a ton of carbs that I probably shouldn't take in.
Wait, I take it back. French toast, though.
You know,
I like bread.
I
in that
might
way.
like avoid bread as much as I can, and then when I reward myself, I might get like a bowl of like nice ramen or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm not too big into bread. It's not hard for me to cut that one out. Do you think waist trimmers work? Are those the
waist trim. Those are kind of the ones that, just kind of tight.
Yeah, it's like the
around your
trainer.
waist. Oh wait, did we hit 100?
I think we've got
Did we get
someone.
100
Bill Constantine is our first winner. So if you want to send us a private YouTube message to our channel address, we also got an email address. It's support@SixPackShortcuts.com. Hit us up. Give us your information, Bill, because we are sending you a free bottle of Leptin Shred. So don't forget to email us at support@SixPackShortcuts.com. Cool. Let's move
Awesome.
to the next questions.
Back to waist trimmers.
Yeah, let's talk about waist trimmers.
Yeah, no, I don't think they work.
Okay. No, I don't think they work. I don't really know much about the waist trimmers. Oh, I do know a lot about this though. Is that it? Can we see this? Is this real?
Is that Arnold?
Oh, it's Arnold.
Yep.
We need a Bruce Lee up here.
Fuck, it's Arnold.
God,
Fuck. Gifted.
we didn't even plan this. Oh, shit.
Arnold
But
makes you live.
speaking of working out, you want to move into it?
Let's get it.
I want you guys to try this workout with us. It's called the 5-minute fat burner, or it could be called the 5-minute belly fat blaster. It's one of our most popular workouts on our channel. We changed the exercises a little bit. We wanted to make it a little bit more intense for you guys, and also we want you to do this at home. This is something you guys can do right now. If you're watching and you're not doing this, shame on you.
You can do it.
You can do it. You guys ready?
All right.
Get it. Move this out of the way.
Hey folks at home, we're going to kill the sound for just a second while we move this microphone so we don't blow your ears off. So hold tight for just a second, audio will return.
Johnny? In 5 minutes? Yeah, one of them will be fine. Okay. Do you want to introduce what we're doing?
Okay. So what we're gonna do today is going to be 3
Are you
sets.
turning the volume back on?
Oh no, the volume is down. Is it on?
We're back.
Oh, we're back? Cool.
Oh. Your phone just moved down.
Yeah, I'm fixing it.
Okay, so we're gonna do 3 sets of 30 seconds each. Okay, so it's gonna consist of inchworm push-ups, planks, and air squats.
Emily, can you time us 30 seconds? You have a phone? Yeah. Cool.
So basically, we're gonna do 30 seconds of inchworm push-ups, 30 seconds of plank, and 30 seconds of air squats.
I didn't bring my shoes.
Then we're gonna repeat that
Damn,
3
Daniel.
times.
You know what? I'm gonna go Arnie style and go without shoes. You wanna do it too?
No, I like my kicks. I just got
Cool. I'm ready. Ready to start? Start with inchworm push-ups?
Inchworm
Are we long
push-ups?
enough to do this?
Are we gonna
Long enough.
face them, or do they want to see how we do it?
Oh, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it towards each other. How
Okay.
much room do I have?
Well,
Oh, I
we'll
have
just.
this
No, you have until the chair,
Right here?
because Facebook is way narrower.
Okay. Am I good?
Yeah.
Well, we can just go diagonally this way.
I'll go straight. You can go diagonal.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
Are we
come
starting the time here? 30 seconds.
Are we ready? 30 seconds?
Yep, go.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go. You call it, Emily. You guys better be doing this. I need some
Halfway there.
words of encouragement.
Got it.
There's a really good stretch for my hamstrings.
Fine. 5 seconds. And done.
All right.
Plank. Are we doing up here? So we're gonna do 2 different variations. I'm doing the harder version, which is in the standard push-up plank position. He's doing it now too. I'm gonna take a rest, come down to the forearms. It's a little bit easier. If you're a beginner, I suggest starting here. Can't breathe.
Alright, almost there. And done.
squats.
Air squats.
Woo.
Let's get them.
Okay. Man, my knees are popping. So if that helped you to bring your hands out to keep the stability, feel free. You can also do a prison squat, and that looks like this. Hands behind the head.
And stop.
Okay.
Okay, no rest. Let's go
Round
right
2.
back into it.
Inchworms.
This is a really good exercise for your chest, shoulders, core, stability. It's a great full body.
Definitely feeling my shoulders and knees.
Yeah, for sure.
And stop.
Whew. Walk it down to a plank for 30 seconds. This is cute.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up, Facebook?
Just chilling,
Just
you know.
getting her swole on for you, for your
Flex
entertainment.
Fridays.
Yeah, it's Flex Friday.
TGI Friday.
TGI. I'm feeling it.
I'm feeling it.
And stop.
All right.
Air squats.
Air squats. All right.
Do it for Arnold.
Do it for
He's
Arnold.
watching.
Arnold's watching.
And you definitely want to keep a big chest, keep your eyes up. It'll help you breathe through it, since we're not getting a lot of oxygen in, since we're not taking a lot of rest.
Stop.
Whew. Right to the inchworms.
Back to
Last
the
round.
inchworms. All right, let's go.
This is intense. Who wrote this workout?
I don't know. Crazy person. Ninja Turtles?
Ninja Turtles. I have aliens on my socks.
Oh, I thought they were
Oh,
baby
wait.
Ninja Turtles.
Remember to breathe through the plank.
Stop.
Air squats.
Air squats.
I feel like jazzercise class.
And
We
one.
need Richard Simmons up here.
And 2. And 3.
I like this little sassy on the hips.
And 5. And 6. No, you're not really counting reps.
Oh, yeah.
We're just doing 30 seconds.
10 seconds.
I'm actually sweating.
Yeah. All right.
5 minute body fat destroyer.
Destroyed.
Just for you guys.
Oh, they wanted to see the abs.
I don't have abs, but he has abs. Guys, comment, let us know how you like the workout. How long did it take you? Did you need rest breaks? Try it again without them if you did. Right now, we've got another special guest for you. It's actually a Six-Pack Shortcuts fitness coach. One of our coaches from our coaching staff, our phone coaching staff. Anytime you guys have questions and you call in, this is one of the guys that answers your calls. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce him. His name is Devin Bassett. Come on in. Devin's gonna be answering all of your questions for the remainder of this segment.
What's up, guys? What's happening, man?
Chilling. You should see some of these guys behind the scenes back here. The ones answering your phones, they're actually fit dudes. Like, we don't just have anybody answering the phones. You're actually talking to somebody who's in shape.
Question, ask.
What's the best protein powders?
We already did that.
How can, I have a 4-pack, but how can I get rid of the side belly fat, lower belly fat?
Okay, side belly fat, lower belly fat, any kind of belly fat regardless of where you store it. Back to the question that I answered earlier, it's basically spot reduction. All you can do is try to target the exercises that are gonna burn the most amount of calories in the least amount of time. That's going to trigger the afterburn effect, so you burn the most fat overall. Where your body burns fat from, you cannot control. You can only control which muscles you work out, and which, if you wanna try to burn the fat in a particular area, doing exercises that target that area is only working the muscle underneath the fat. So to answer your question, do the exercises that burn the most calories from fat that trigger the afterburn effect.
For teenagers, what supplements do you recommend for day?
So for teenagers, the biggest things that I recommend is always going to be branched chain amino acids, a good multivitamin, as well as a fish oil. Anything other than that, I mean, you could potentially take things like creatine, but in all honesty, the best thing at that age is going to be diet. Diet, BCAAs, some fish oil, and then the multivitamins there.
What can teenagers eat?
So for teenagers to put on size, I mean, the cool thing as a teenager, your metabolism is going so fast, man. It's really, for most teenagers, it is going to be a lot harder to put on body fat, but I always recommend still eating clean. But shoot, man, I mean, things along the lines of, okay.
Everybody goes home.
Am I looking at that one or that one?
Either one.
Oh, okay. It looks like it's looking at our waist.
No, no, no.
Which one am I looking at?
That one.
See,
Oh, okay,
The one
cool.
with the cardboard on it?
Yeah, okay, perfect. So I saw that one, I saw you looking over there, I was like, oh man, which one?
we're back.
We're back.
Wait,
Oh,
wait, wait.
no.
Yep, we're back.
We good?
By the way, Kate took off her shirt. She's back there.
Oh yeah. Love it. What were you? Supplements for
supplements for teens. Also, depending on their body type, if they're ectomorph, mesomorph, you know, if you already hold a lot of body fat, then you definitely want to stay clean on your diet. If
Correct.
you're very, very thin and lean and you have a hard time putting on any mass, I recommend a huge steak and potatoes.
Yeah, always
You
helps
know.
out, man. I ate a lot of pasta, a lot of beef, just spaghetti when I was in high school and everything. Peanut butter sandwiches always helped me out as well. That's what the football coaches always told us to eat, man. Just-
And if you don't have a lot of money for steak,
Yeah.
like I didn't when I was in high school,
Right.
man, I just cans of tuna all day
Oh,
long.
all day.
All day.
Yeah.
So is whey protein, is it good for fat loss and getting more lean?
Yeah, definitely. Whey protein is good for fat loss. It's good for getting lean. Why? Because it's replacing all of the other unnecessary calories that are going to make you fat, that are going to accumulate fat, versus whey protein doesn't readily store as body fat, so your body actually uses it more for muscle recovery and building muscle while you're actually getting leaner as well too.
What's a good workout for teenagers to lose weight fast?
Good workout. Go ahead.
To lose weight fast, sprints. I always recommend sprints. High intensity interval training, the score stats that we do in Six Pack Shortcuts too, or even the just things along the lines of sprints, going fast on a Stairmaster, kind of slowing it down. Anything in a high intensity interval training style, that's what's really going to cause the body to rev up the metabolism, trigger that afterburn effect, and really have you start burning that fat like crazy.
What are your guys' top 3 trap exercises? You can demonstrate if you want.
Shrugs.
Shrugs all day.
Shrugs all day long. Let me move this out of the way. Grab some shrugs. All right. There we go. So Shrug is a very basic exercise. All you're simply doing is lifting your shoulders up and down. Now you can do them directly out to your sides. You can hold them in front of you, do them that way, or slightly behind you, and do them that way. That's pretty much it. That's all the variations. You don't need to rotate. That doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't benefit for you. So all you want to do is shrug. And try to shrug up high. Like if I'm looking in the mirror, I try to imagine my shoulders, my traps touching my earlobes. So when I look in the mirror, I try to really, really just get it high up there, you know? Get that range of motion. And that's how you build your traps, guys.
Top 3 exercises. One of my favorites is going to be what we call upright rows. You can do these with dumbbells. You can do them with barbells. So what you want to focus on is bringing your shoulders back, kind of retracting your shoulder blades, really isolating your traps, and literally just raising your elbows up into the air. It's going to hit your delts. Awesome for putting size on the medial and posterior delts, but also just going crazy on the traps. Always good to finish with these during a shoulder exercise, shoulder routine.
And the way he's doing them here with the dumbbells, definitely recommend dumbbells on a upright row versus the barbell because of the fact that I actually did a video earlier talking about external rotation on your rotator cuff, which is bad for your shoulder. So when you do this with a barbell, it really puts a lot of unnecessary stress on the shoulders, stress on your shoulders.
What would you say is the best at-home workout for your rear delts?
For rear delts,
I just did a video on this today.
right? Are we doing it with or without dumbbells?
You're at home. You're not
Rear delts.
Really just you can do like an isometric movement. Isometric means without any motion, just basically flexing the muscle. So basically any motion that's basically going to pull your arm out this way. So I can, you know, just pull my arms out and squeeze. So I'm squeezing to try to activate this posterior delt right here. Or you can even take your arm and use this arm and pull backwards like you're doing a reverse fly. And just really get that squeeze. Try to get as many reps as you can. Do multiple sets until you really feel that burn on your posterior deltoid.
Absolutely. I like it.
Also, we have bands.
Yeah.
Bands, yeah, definitely bands. That's a way to add resistance without, you know, carrying heavy dumbbells around with you. You can stick them in your bag anywhere you go. So it's very light, easy, convenient to carry with you.
Does cardio make you lose muscle?
Too much of it, yes. If you do them in the right amounts, then no. You have to basically, there's 2 ways to do cardio. One is steady state. You can do that, maintain a steady heart rate that doesn't take you over that threshold to where your body starts to metabolize muscle mass. Or you can do what he mentioned earlier is high intensity interval training where you do short bouts of high intensity, but these high intensity durations are so short that your body's not gonna start to metabolize and break down muscle. So yes and no. Yes, it will burn muscle if you do it incorrectly and do it too much. No, it will not burn muscle if you do it correctly. And also supplementing with amino acids. That acts as a buffer from breaking down lean muscle mass. So definitely take your aminos while you're doing high intensity training. That will help you from losing muscle. That'll help keep you from losing muscle.
Let's talk about the rest of the shoulders. What's good for the rest of the shoulders too?
Traditional military presses,
Yeah,
overhead
military
presses,
press.
lateral raises. So basically, the basic movements for shoulder development is any overhead press. Now, you don't want to do this with your arms behind here because that's bad for your rotator cuff. So just in front presses, not behind the neck. That's not good for your shoulders. And then front raises and side raises, basically. Those are the main movers for good deltoid development.
Gotta get the boulder shoulders.
Yes, sir.
Can y'all show us proper push-up form?
Proper push-up form, okay. Think about your nipples, okay. Nipple line, okay. If you drew a line from your thumb to your thumb, your nipples should touch that imaginary line. So my nipples touch that line here, and I come up, okay. This is the correct push-up, all the way down, body straight, all the way up.
Notice how he's also keeping his core extremely tight, so his back is flat. You don't want an arch in the back. You don't want an arch in your back, and you don't want your butt to be too high up in the air either.
So this is incorrect. This is incorrect.
Boom.
Okay. And a lot of people, this is the most common mistake. I see people put their face towards their hands like this. that is incorrect.
Right.
Okay, because I'm bringing my face to this imaginary line when your nipples touch that line.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, can you have a protein shake with another meal like breakfast?
Of course.
Yeah. So the way I look at protein supplements, it's really just another form of protein itself. So it is a quick and easy way to get in a protein source if you don't have time to, say, cook up some meat, cook up some chicken to take with your own food. So if you're on the go, if you're a guy who travels a lot for work, it's always good. It's a little hard to take a meal with you. Maybe you don't have a microwave to heat it up, so it's always good to have that protein replacement shake. Kind of get that easy protein source in.
Convenience, definitely.
Devin, tell us about what you do as an SBS coach.
Oh man, as a coach, I help guys out all day long. So guys who get set up with the program, they buy their individual program online. So what we do, we reach out to our clients. We spend a pretty good chunk of time with them, just really getting them set up, figuring out who they are, what they're trying to do in fitness, whether they're trying to build muscle, burn fat, whatever it is, and we set up a solid game plan to make sure we take their transformation all the way. And with that, we also have our success coaches reaching out to them. We will reach back out to them periodically, just making sure everything's going good.
It's pretty crazy.
Pretty much the job of a personal trainer. It's
Yeah.
just taking all the guesswork out for you.
Absolutely.
So telling you what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, what exercise to do, when to do the exercises, how to do the exercises. Just taking all the guesswork out for you so you don't have to sit there wondering, lost and confused anymore.
What's your favorite workout to build your triceps?
Ooh, there's a ton of those.
They're all fun.
My favorite one is going to be skull crushers, definitely.
Skull crushers. It's gotta be.
I've been doing skull crushers since I was in high school. I'm 32 years old right now, so over 16 years of doing skull crushers. Sometimes, you want to go kind of heavy to stimulate that muscle growth, but after 15 years of skull crushers, sometimes my elbows start to ache a little bit. So definitely get a good warm up before you go heavy.
Absolutely.
And if the barbell puts a lot of stress on your elbows, I actually do them with the dumbbells. And
Dumbbells always help out.
yeah, you want to
Shall
show
we
them how to do it?
demonstrate?
Yeah. There we go.
Right.
Now he's got the 40s, and 40 is a lot of weight to start with, so definitely go a lot lighter, warm up your elbows before you jump into the heavier weights. Now the way he's doing them this way is definitely putting a lot of tension on the triceps, which is very effective. But back to what I was saying about the elbows, if your elbows hurt, yeah, bring them a little further back, and then this angle is gonna put less stress on the elbows, and it's still gonna be just as effective. So if you bring them down to your face here, it's a lot of tension here, so bring it slightly back a little bit more, so it kind of gives your elbow joint a little bit less stress.
Boom sauce.
Bam!
So when do you guys take protein powder? During your workout or after? What's the best time?
Anytime is the best time.
Anytime for protein is always good.
But definitely, if you could only pick one time, then immediately afterwards.
Repair and recovery.
What are your favorite leg exercises?
Squats.
Squats,
Hands down, lunges.
lunges,
And why?
because those are the most effective exercises for building your lower body.
What's the best kind of squat?
Best kind of squat is the right kind of squat. It's good form squats.
Proper form. Yeah.
Well, there's a hack squat.
Oh, hack squat, sumo squat, just traditional squats. So basically, here's an easy way to tell if you're squatting correctly. Stand in front of a wall and place your toes maybe just 4 fingers away from that wall, okay, and put your hands up and try to squat down and up without your knees or your nose touching that wall. And a lot of people will be like, whoa, man, I feel like I'm gonna fall backwards. That is correct, because all of the weight's in your heels. You're not supposed to be coming up on your toes when you squat like that. You're supposed to keep the weight in your heels and feel everything in your heels and keeping your form straight up and down. So you're not, here's why the wall works. If your nose keeps touching the wall, you have excessive forward lean, and that's eventually gonna be bad for your back. And then if your knees are touching the wall, well then you're shifting your knees too far forward like that, and that's really bad for your knees. And definitely, once you have the form correct, focus on full range of motion, assuming that you don't have any previous injuries in your knees or your back or anything. If you're healthy, you can go full range of motion. You're going to get better results going through a full range of motion. If you have current pre-existing injuries, then 90 degrees or less, whatever you can do is best for you.
Yes.
You can wrap it up. I'll come back.
Wrap them up in a blanket.
In a blanket.
Give him a hug.
Thanks,
Give him a hug.
Yeah.
But thanks, Devin. Thanks for coming out here.
Hey,
I know
anytime.
you're busy. You got a lot of people wanting to
Yeah,
ask you a
got
lot
some
more
clients, yeah.
questions.
Yeah, I got
So
curls to
appreciate
do.
you coming out.
Get out of here.
All right. Bye, guys.
So we're gonna finish up, guys. Any last minute questions that you guys have? Me and Clark are gonna try to curl for like 3 minutes straight
Oh
and
shit.
answer your questions at the same time.
Oh shit.
Should I train chest and back together?
Here's my opinion. Yes, I like training chest and back together. I know a lot of guys who will do like, what is that? We're
Warm
gonna
up.
curl it?
Warm up, bro.
All right, warm up, bruh. I bet
Warm up,
if
bruh.
I can curl this, do you think I can curl this?
Yeah, you can curl it.
See if I- Okay, ready?
Oh.
Now every internet troll is like, roids.
No. Every troll is talking about form.
Form.
She
swung.
it.
It doesn't count.
Okay.
Anyway.
Since we're on this subject, okay, is it okay to swing or not okay to swing? You want to keep in pretty good form, but if your intensity level is where it should be,
Yeah.
you should not probably be able to do a curl in perfect form.
That's true.
Because if it's so light to where you can do it in perfect form, it's not actually going to be as effective than something that's really challenging, that's
Yeah.
a lot heavier, that you can probably do in 90% good form.
Yeah.
And then once you reach that point of failure, a little cheating is okay because that's going to basically, you're spotting yourself.
It's true.
It's the same concept as if she was doing perfect form and I was spotting her. She's basically using that momentum to kind of spot herself just to, rep out 2 or 3 more extra ones
Exactly.
to get that intensity.
And that's where it makes a difference. So yes, it's wrong if you're doing every single set.
From the get-go.
If you're,
Yeah.
I don't even, what is
So
that?
do it right as much as you can.
Yeah.
And then once you reach failure, it's okay. Go swing a couple of them as long as you're not going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's going to get that stimulation that
Yeah.
you need for strength and recovery.
Especially the last couple reps. It really makes all the difference. And I know a lot of people are like, it's bad form, it's bad form. But what he's saying is when you're pushing yourself and you're at the edge and you're at maximum capacity, what your muscles can do, doing and adding a couple extra reps, even if they're not complete range of motion, and you're not going to injure yourself, is okay. I've swung, I've used momentum a little bit. I used to be a power lifter, so we weren't allowed to do any of that back in when I would actually compete. But when you're training to build strength, sometimes it is necessary, and we're not doing what we said we were gonna do. But I'm gonna do it. He's popping the top.
It's freaking hot. I'm
Dude,
sweating.
I'm sweating. I have like pec sweat. It's disgusting. But
Hey,
yeah,
do you even squat, bruh?
bruh.
But can you also demonstrate a proper front squat for us?
Yeah. So there's a few different ways to do a front squat. One of my favorite ways to do a front squat is actually a goblet squat. And so what you do, if I can do it, okay, hold it in front of you like this, and then come down and stand up. In my opinion, that's one of the best variations of a front squat. You can do it with the barbell. You can turn it into a push press and coming down and then coming up as you come up in the movement. Using 2 dumbbells on both sides is a great way to do a front squat as well, but the goblet squat, in my opinion, is one of the best variations of the front squat. Do you like doing front squats? They're killer for your quads.
Any kind of squats.
Yeah. I honestly, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, a basic air squat, nothing beats the mechanical advantage of knowing how to do an air squat, because believe it or not, when you put weight on your back, it's actually easier to squat. It's easier to get down into the hole, to get the movement down, in my opinion. Whereas without weight, if you don't have mobility, if you're not flexible, if your hips are tight, if you have tightness throughout here and you can't keep an erect, if you can't keep your chest
I
big
can
and
keep
open.
it erect.
Whoa! Dang.
Dang.
This is getting
Yeah,
out
you
of
set
control.
yourself up for that one.
Damn. Anyways, what was I saying?
We're talking about healthy testosterone levels here,
Oh
right?
my God, we changed the subject. I
I'm
am
just
sweating
kidding. Okay, all right.
from the workout.
How often would you fit longer negatives into your routine? training?
Yeah, tempo training. I actually, if I'm gonna do tempo training, it really depends on the exercise because there's certain movements where tempo training, I don't 100% agree is gonna be 100% safe for you, if that makes sense. So like a shoulder press, for a lot of people, they have issues with their shoulders already. It's a lot. These are small muscles, so if you're keeping time under tension in like a heavy military press over your head and you're trying to do really slow negatives, it could actually be doing more harm than good to the cartilage in the shoulder. Whereas like with a squat, if you're doing the negative and you're taking your time, that's burning out the quads and the hammies. It might be putting a little pressure on the knees, but honestly, it's one of the best ways to really get the maximal efficiency out of the muscle and to really, really target and get hypertrophy is doing negatives. Do you do negatives?
Purple drink.
What is it?
Purple drink.
Purple drink. It's great afterburn fuel. It's
Okay.
Friday.
Is it okay to work out twice a day?
I've worked out twice a day. I used to compete in women's figure, and at that time, I don't have a lean body, and it takes me a really, really long time to get shredded, to get like super duper lean shape. So I would wake up and do fasted cardio between 30 to 60 minutes, which is outrageous. You shouldn't have to do that. And then I would do a weight training session later on in the day. 2-a-days are totally, I mean, they work and they're okay if that's what works for you, but there's smarter ways to train, and I wish I would have known about the smarter ways back when I first started getting into fitness. But 2-a-days are okay. What do you think?
As long as your two workouts don't conflict with each other.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know, you don't want to do two workouts that are the same muscle groups
Yeah.
over and over again because you're not you're overtraining the same muscles.
Yeah.
So different muscle groups, okay.
Yeah.
How much protein do you need to take?
Wait, were we curling for 3 minutes?
Oh, yeah, shoot.
Okay. So how much
just-
protein are we gonna take?
Let's do these
David?
girls.
What was the question?
Yeah, how much protein do you need? Just basic for muscle building.
You know, some people say
1001.
some people say like
1 to 1.5
1
grams.
to 1, 1
If
to
we're
1.5
going
your
by the
body
book.
weight or your lean body mass. It's really difficult to count and try to add it all up. I say just use a rule of thumb and make sure that every meal you get has a good source of protein, and then you're pretty much not going to be short of what your target is.
Yeah, and to further on that question, it really depends on what your activity level is. So if you're someone who's sedentary, you really don't need a whole bunch of protein. And I know a lot of people, or a lot of guys in particular, they look at Jay Cutler, they look at Ronnie Coleman, they flip through the magazine, and they're like, "Bro, he's eating.
He eats
Did you
6
see?
pounds of salmon
I saw
a day."
on YouTube." He ate like 10 pancakes and like 6 breakfast sausages, bro. Like I can eat all of this stuff, and that's how you get big. And it's not how you get. Yes, you can get big.
You can get big.
Not in the way you want to get big, though. You really don't want to be eating any more than 40 grams of protein per meal. I mean, I know a lot of people have, there's differences between people, but if you're a sedentary person, if you're a beginner, if you're just getting started with working out, even if you're an advanced guy, there's a lot of studies that prove that after a certain amount of protein per given time metabolizing, like with your body, it's not even effective for doing what you want it to do. It gets stored as body fat. So if you're eating a lot of protein thinking like, oh man, this is what it takes to get big, it's not what it takes to get big. Eating a shitload of protein at one time is not gonna get you big.
And it's also a combination of stimulating muscle growth and feeding the muscles.
That's right.
If you're not stimulating muscle growth and you're eating to try to feed the muscles, you're storing it as fat, or your body's just gonna digest it, metabolize it,
Yeah.
and you're gonna shit it out.
Yeah, that's
So
true
it's
too.
not
Protein
going
parts
to
are a
do
real
anything.
thing.
When I was younger, I was really, really thin, and I couldn't put on any weight for the life of me. And everybody's like, "You don't eat enough," until they saw me eat.
Yeah.
I'd be like a 120-pound kid, like killing 2 baked potatoes and a steak and 5 bowls of rice, like
Oh, yeah.
something crazy, right? You're like, how does that even fit in there? And I still wouldn't gain weight.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm eating so much, how come I can't gain weight? Well, I was missing the other key to the formula, which was stimulating muscle growth. So when I started lifting weights and eating, at
Yeah.
that point, my body started to actually use these nutrients
Exactly.
to build muscle. So simply eating the right foods or eating a lot is not necessarily going to get you jacked.
No.
You got to stimulate that growth.
Right, you got to prime it with the proper kind of training, and he's absolutely right, because if I'm not tearing or breaking down my muscle, why am I feeding my muscles this even a surplus of energy? Because that's honestly what you have to look at protein as. You got to look at it as energy. So if I'm not expending it, or if I'm not burning it, if I'm not killing it in the gym, there's no reason to be eating that much protein, fats, carbs, whatever. let alone a cheat meal. I get asked questions about cheat meals from people who don't work out, like, how many times a week should I cheat? And I'm like, well, how many times a week do you work out? Well, you know, I ride the stationary bike for like 30 minutes twice a week. I'm like, bro, you don't need a cheat meal, like, for a long time. And a good rule of thumb, if anyone's ever told you anything about this, it takes at least 14 days of you following a plan, either exercise, diet, hopefully it's a combination of both, before your metabolism can actually make a shift. So that's a good rule of thumb for you guys who maybe you started a program, maybe you're like 4 or 5 days in and you're like, man, I'm not seeing results. I mean, that people really do have that feeling. They're like, well, when am I supposed to, they just don't know. When am I supposed to see, when am I supposed to feel a change? Traditionally, it's about 14 days.
I tell all my clients, best way to gauge your results are progress pictures.
Yes.
Take a picture and then take another photo depending on how fast your metabolism is.
Yeah.
Every 4 to 6 weeks. That's the best way to gauge your results because the weight scale doesn't always tell you what's happening. You gain 2 pounds of muscle, lose 2 pounds of fat, you weigh the same.
Exactly.
You are trying to get lean, you lose 2 pounds, you think you're doing good, but you starved yourself and you lost 2 pounds of muscle and not fat. That's not good. So
Yeah.
don't worry about the weight so much as, just gauging by progress pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, the mirror is your friend, and the problem is when you're looking in the mirror every day, it's a lot more difficult for you to assess because it's you, right? So we're our own worst critic, I guess. And when we look in the mirror, we're like, man, I'm just not seeing it, I'm not feeling it. If you're taking progress pictures, just let the image do the work for you.
Because also the mirror, you see yourself every day. You're not going to see subtle changes. Just like you don't see the hair on your head growing day to day, but if you don't cut your hair for 6 weeks, you notice a difference, right?
Yeah.
So that's what a progress picture does, is it takes a long period apart so you can actually see noticeable difference.
Yeah.
If you just check yourself in the mirror every day, you might get discouraged because you don't see the difference from yesterday to today.
Yeah.
Back to what we were saying. Same is true for the opposite, not just eating to get your gains, but you have to lift. Same is true for the opposite. Just lifting and not feeding your muscles.
Yeah.
It's not going to get them to grow too.
Oh man, I know a lot of guys that make that mistake too because they're like, well, if I work out for like 60 minutes a day, and maybe it's not even resistance training, maybe we're talking about I'm just doing cardio. That's the fastest way to get skinny fat, and guys I don't know why they don't realize it. They think that cardio is going to get them abs, and maybe it will, but you'll be deflated. You won't have round muscle bellies. Your arms will be smaller than mine. I mean, you don't want that. You do not want that.
Show me your guns, Kate. Show me your guns.
We should have brought a measuring tape.
Hey.
To measure at the end. Like we should have measured before we started pumping and then measured after.
Remember that video that I did, the 1 inch in 10
Dude,
minutes?
It has over 1 million views.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that was an
it's
insane
crazy.
pump.
And everyone, actually I want to talk about that too. I remember the headline of that video is how to grow 1 inch on your arm in 10 minutes. Okay, let's talk about pump. Pump is a really good thing. A lot of people think it's an imaginary effect. Oh, pump it's gonna go away. There's actually a lot of physiological benefits to getting a pump. Training for a pump to inflate your muscle is doing so much more than the aesthetic, like, oh sweet, I have this awesome pump. When you're shoving extra blood into a muscle by doing a lot of repetitions, a lot of high volume work, say on my bicep, or like how Clark's doing, you're actually shuttling not just the blood, but blood is carrying oxygen, it's carrying nutrients, it's carrying all of the little, it's carrying the entire recipe to build and sculpt muscle is what I'm trying to say. So it's carrying all of those nutrients that will build the muscle. So if I'm delivering the pump, if I'm putting the nutrients in there, that's the fastest way to grow.
Exactly.
And so a lot of people are like, yeah, but that's not even, it's gonna go, it's not even a real thing. I'm like, that's the best way to train for hypertrophy. It's the best way to gain lean mass.
What you're doing when you're lifting weights is you're causing these microscopic tears in the muscle fibers, and then your body has to repair these muscle fibers to make them grow bigger and stronger. Well, that's internally. The same is true if you have, let's say if you had a cut and you wanted to put ointment on that cut. You can put exactly what that wound needs on it to heal it. Well, that's what the pump is.
Yeah.
You're driving those nutrients straight to the muscles that need it the most.
It's like an anabolic scab.
Yes, exactly.
disgusting,
I'm
but
tearing
it's
up
such
the
a good
muscle fibers,
analogy.
and then I'm pumping these nutrients in to repair these muscle fibers.
Yeah, absolutely. Next question.
So what should I eat after I do my exercise routine?
What do you think? I say before you eat, aminos. Honestly, if you are looking for the absolute fastest results from working out, which if you're working out, I'm sure that's what you're trying to do. You want to get in the best shape possible. You want to do something that's going to have the fastest absorption. And so before you eat, I would be taking aminos because food takes a while to digest. It's going to take 40 to 60, maybe even longer if you're eating a lot of fat. It's going to take a long time for those nutrients to get into the muscle. If I want to grow my muscle, I want to put the aminos in there as soon as possible. And because amino acids, especially like our afterburn aminos, it doesn't have sugar and it doesn't have carbs, it doesn't have fillers, it's going to be direct absorption. So that is honestly the fastest way to refuel your muscles.
You know, I also developed this theory that just this past year that I've been actually testing out on myself.
Scientific theory.
Yes. So, okay, post-workout, we always talk about getting this fast digesting, fast absorbing nutrients to get straight to your muscles. But we all know that whenever you eat something, it doesn't go boom, directly into the bloodstream. It has to go through the digestive tract, the digestive system, broken down before it starts to get readily absorbed into the bloodstream. And sometimes that can take, 20 minutes, 30, 45 minutes, who knows. So my theory has been this. I've been trying this out, and I feel like it works for me. I actually pre-eat a little bit right before I work out. And that way I feel like once I've gotten about 20 to 30 minutes into my workout, that food that I ate pre-workout is now being absorbed instantly.
Yeah, I agree. But the key to it is telling them what to eat, because there's wrong things to eat. Like if you're using that method, one time, and I did it out of desperation, I didn't have anything else. All I had, I brought a Tupperware that had some tilapia in it, and I didn't have a microwave, and I was like, man, fuck it, I'm making gains. I'm gonna just eat it cold, whatevs. It was a total body, like a fat burning style workout. And our gym here, actually, I like to keep the AC off. We do have AC in it, but turn the AC off. We're in Texas, it's super hot. I ate a little bit of fish just to give myself that full feeling before I worked out. Huge mistake. Probably don't eat fish before you work out, unless you can stomach it.
Good question. You mentioned we're from Texas. Do we sound like we're from Texas?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
You're Asian as fuck.
It just came to mind. I went out of town, out of the country before, and people asked me where I was from, and I'm like, I'm from the States. And they're like, Texas, huh? I'm like,
whoa.
sound like a cowboy or what?
Dang, you converted. I'm actually from Michigan, so
I was
most people
just
sound
curious.
like, most people tell me I sound like I'm from King of the Hill, which is actually a Texas-based cartoon. Like, I'm super hillbilly,
Which character?
Probably all of them combined.
Oh, we got 10 minutes left, guys.
Okay, 10 minutes left to get your free 1 month supply of Leptin Shred. How many likes are we at?
690.
We're at what? 690.
Oh.
Look it. Let's go.
Shit, we got a lot of stuff to give away.
Yeah, shit. So, next question.
What age can you start these types of workouts? Or like six-pack shortcuts too? What age can you start that?
What age did you start training?
I started lifting weights when I was, I think 13 or 14 years old.
I started training, and I'm a girl at 15, and that's no joke. Like, I was 15 years old when I started powerlifting, and that's how I got into weightlifting. And my brother and I are a year and a half apart, so I kind of grew up like tomboyish. So like whatever he was doing out in the woods and building forts and shit, I would do it too. And so when he joined the powerlifting team, I was like, hells yeah, let's do this shit. So I joined that, and then I've been resistance training ever since. I did competing, and now I just kind of move weights around and get sweaty and try to look lean and try to get a six-pack.
So I think the answer to the question is, there is no age where you're too young to start lifting, as long as you're doing it correctly without risking injury.
Yeah.
If you're not putting yourself at risk of getting hurt. So if, let's say, you're young, or if you're a parent and your young son or daughter wants to start lifting weights or something like that, definitely as long as they have the right supervision and the right guidance.
Yeah. And I think if you're 14, 15, we literally, both of us started in our early teens. If you want to start weight training and you want to do it safe, start with the body variations. Six-pack shortcuts too, the entire program can be done without weights.
Yeah.
We do use dumbbells in it in our demonstrations, because we're definitely tailoring to people who want to get the maximum results. But if you're a teenager, you don't even need to use dumbbells. Get the mechanics down of the movements. A squat, a push-up, these mechanical movements can be done without weights, and they're still extremely effective, and that's what you should be doing if you're just starting out, especially if you're a teenager. Next.
So, Kate, what are your recommendations for girls in terms of what to eat and what to do to lose weight but not build too much muscle?
Oh, the key to not, okay. Let me just say, don't worry, you won't build too much muscle. Here's the deal. Girls, we don't have as much testosterone as guys do, okay? If I put extra testosterone in my body, yes, I would be able to build an insane amount of muscle. Didn't matter what I eat or how I train. If I if I injected extra hormones, male hormones, I would be able to get big. Trust me, if you're weight training and you're dieting and you're eating similar things to me, you won't get huge. I mean, I've been training since I was 15, and some guys might think that I'm huge or whatever, but in my opinion, I've seen girls that are a lot bigger than I am. But if you're looking to just lean up, if you're looking to put on a little bit of muscle, you need to be in the gym and you need to be resistance training. I think yoga is great and Pilates is super cool. I do it. I like stretching. It's great. But that shit is not going to give you the look you're wanting. You think that touching dumbbells is going to make you into Arnold, and it won't. It really, really won't. And who said you had to use a 60-pound dumbbell? I mean, you don't have to use heavy weights as a female. But definitely, if you're a girl, if you're just starting out, if you want to get lean, I would start doing resistance training. Start with your basics. Start with the squats. Definitely the squats, especially if you're a girl and you want a butt. Dudes like butts. You like butts?
I do.
He's a butt guy.
I like butts.
Doing a little bit of resistance training, especially on the lower legs. Doing curls, doing tricep extensions, things that are going to tone up your arms. You're going to love it. As far as the diet goes, if you're a girl and you're trying to put on a little bit of lean muscle and tone up, keep your carbs low. What I personally do as far as like a maintenance just to keep a lean body is I just keep carbs within the first 2 to 3 meals of my day, and then I don't eat any carbs for the rest of the day. And so that allows my body to shift into a fat burning mode. I will never cut carbs completely because our brain actually uses glycogen from carbs as our primary energy source. And so I found, I've tried to go 0 carb before, and it does work, but I can't even think straight. Like, I get so hungry and so annoyed and like tired and groggy. It just doesn't work very well for me. Yes, you'll lose weight fast, but as a female, I would never recommend 0 carb. A low carb diet is great.
Why is leptin important for fat loss?
Hunger.
Hunger hormone. So leptin is your hunger hormone, and leptin's great because it does 2 things. First of all, it regulates your body's ability to burn fat. That's first and foremost, but second of all, it regulates your appetite, and that's everyone's problem. I mean, you're either eating because you're bored or because your appetite's out of control. And really, a lot of lifestyle factors influence your leptin, like the amount of sugar you eat. That's gonna make your leptin crazy because leptin is very reliant on insulin, the other anabolic hormone, but I'll get into that later. That's other sciencey stuff. But like I said, leptin, it's the master fat burning hormone. This is how we're gonna be able to utilize fat, our stored fat, as our primary energy source. So you wanna have your leptin healthy. You don't wanna become leptin resistant. That's why you need to stay away from binge eating and you need to eat proper portion sizes.
Curls for the girls.
Curls for the girls.
Curls for the girls.
I curl too, but I was reading some of the comments and some of the dudes were like, girls' arms shouldn't look like that. I'm like, holy cow.
We got 5 minutes left.
Guys, we got 5 minutes left. Any questions that you've got, hit us with it.
Are deadlifts with 2 25-pound dumbbells effective?
Yeah,
Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
heck yeah. I mean, I deadlift with 225 pounds on the barbell, but I mean, I'm just kidding. Using 25 dumbbells is super effective. Honestly, a great way to, if you're gonna keep lighter weights with the deadlift, try to do a one-legged deadlift. Those are really, really great, and you could even do those weightless.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to know, Clark, what is your body weight and body fat percentage right now?
My current body weight, 169 pounds.
69!
69. 5'9.5", 5'10", and
That's cut off.
oh, sorry. So yeah, about 5'10", 169 pounds. Actual percentage, I don't really calculate that. I just kind of gauge my results by looking in the mirror, like, hey, are my abs going away?
Yeah,
Are
that's
they-
what I think of.
are they-
Can I
are
see
they
the
getting-
outlines of
You know,
them? Or?
like, okay, are they
Ab
getting
check.
leaner? My obliques coming out, are they showing more?
Yeah.
Or are they getting a little smoothed out? Then I kind of adjust accordingly, my diet, my
Yeah.
training according to, what I'm trying to achieve there.
That's kind of the point that I've gotten to too. It's like I'll look in the mirror and be like, man, I'm looking hella soft today. Like, I didn't see any veins. I don't know what's going on. And I will always gauge that way. Once you get to that level, like once you finish Six Pack Shortcuts Part 2, you'll reach a body fat to where what we're saying is gonna make sense. Like, you won't be so concerned about like, man, I'm at an 8%, I'm at a 12. Honestly, like, look in the mirror. Like, that satisfaction of what you see is better than looking at a number on a scale or a percentage of body fat. Like, do you have abs? Can you see them in the mirror? You're fucking good.
What do you think of sugar substitutes like sucralose, and do you use them often?
Okay, kept to a minimal, not too much. So I can go into further detail, but we're actually running out of time on that.
It won't kill you.
Yeah. If you do need something sweet, it's okay to have, but don't have too much of it.
Yeah, don't rely on it. You know, almost everything's got sucralose in it. One good tip I do have, if you're using artificial sweeteners or a sugar substitute, monk fruit extract or stevia. Those are the two that are way better than sucralose. And unfortunately, sucralose is in most things. It will not hurt you though. That's what I wanna get across. Sucralose is fine, but like you said, you just want to moderate your use. So sucralose is not, like I said, it's not dangerous. It's, in fact, I mean, we have little bits of sucralose to sweeten some of our supplements as well. But if you're drinking sucralose-containing products, if you're pounding Splenda 24/7, you need to cut back, most definitely. I think we got time for maybe one more quick question.
Is it good to do cardio with an abs workout to finish for weight loss?
I think that's a great way to finish. I think
that's
doing
fine.
a little bit of cardio, throwing in some abs. I like to implement cardio exercises into my ab routines, like doing some jump ropes, like 50 revolutions of jump ropes, then doing some kind of like maybe hanging ab raises. Going back and forth between those two is a great way to, it's honestly, that's the afterburn effect. That's combining that resistance with cardio, allowing your metabolism to burn calories for up to 24, 48 hours afterwards. So I think that is, oh shit. Are we gonna break these?
Abs.
All right, we're gonna do this until the end.
See you later.
Okay, that's the end. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. We had a great time doing this. We hope you guys loved the workout. And thank you for getting us to over, do we have 700 likes? Woo! We got 700 likes. So we got Charlie Harris. Charlie Harris is our final winner. He's gonna get Leptin Shred today. So go ahead, yeah, so it's support@SixPackShortcuts.com, that's the email. So go ahead and, what was it? Or private message our YouTube account as well, that's another great way to get it. But thank you guys so much, we had a blast and we'll see you next time.